Statesman Nation, here with Charlie Hopkins, offensive coordinator for William Penn's football team. Coach Hopkins, appreciate you coming in for a little bit. You get to stand in for Coach Hafner this week and talk the entire big scheme of William Penn football this week. But I guess first off, like I said off camera, this is your opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to Statesman Nation. In addition, obviously all of the football guys know you, but other people don't know you as well. So I guess give us a little bit of your background, and then we can talk a little bit about how you've introduced yourselves to the team, etc. So.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Glad to be here. The last few years I've been to several different schools, several different universities, coaching, running a similar offense to the one we run here, triple option. I first became familiar with the basics of triple option football when I played at Georgia Southern. I played under some really good triple option coaches there and on some good teams. And so far that just kind of sparked my interest in what we were doing and wanted to learn more about it. And I just love the game of football, love being around the players, love being around the other coaches. And that's the reason I got into it. And since I have, just kind of built on the knowledge base that I had from being a player and continue to try to get better and better.
Definitely. You've been here since, I want to say, June. Has it ever been earlier than that?
I believe it was beginning of March, actually.
Yeah, way off then. Sorry, I told you, all the months are just rolling within each other. Yeah, but since March, so you've had an opportunity to work with the guys then for both, part of spring as well as then, during the summer and now, with this preseason and the start of the year. How's everything been going? And I guess talk about just the overall offensive scheme. And obviously we're young and still figuring a lot of things out and working through injuries and inexperience and all that. But I guess just talk about the overall offense right now.
Overall, like I said, we are young. We've got 11 new starters. We got a few guys who spot started here and there the previous season, and some guys who have played before. But as far as 11 new starters, that's what we're working with. A new quarterback, obviously, the guy Coach Hafner's son had been here the past 3 years, and then really solidified that position. And now we've got a new guy who didn't have a lot of game experience prior to this season, and from since I've been here since the spring until now, the strides these young guys have made it's just been incredible. Now we're not where we want to be yet, but we're a lot closer. And for the inexperience we had at the beginning of spring, it's like I said, it's just unbelievable. We've had some young guys or some younger guys, freshman guys, come in and step up. And Hayden Stender has started at right guard the last couple of games and done a really nice job there. We've got Sage Ayersman has done a really nice job, another true freshman, playing slot back and really helps move the football. And there's some others I'm sure that just aren't coming to mind right now. But the work ethic is there. The guys really love it here and committed to what we're doing. And as long as that continues to be the case, we'll continue to get better and better.
Right. Has it been your experience over the last, I guess, since we started preseason, that the guys maybe have taken to you better than expected because of your experience with the triple option, that you spent so many years with it and everything, and then you bring this wealth of knowledge to it, that they understand, like, all right, this guy knows what he's talking about. We really need to listen. We really need to buy in to whatever. I mean, triple option sometimes can be really fancy and great, and then other times it seems a little predictable and not as flashy and just kind of, we're going to run, and sometimes it works great, and sometimes it gets stalled out. But again, being that you've got that background, have they just bought in extra?
I wouldn't say that they bought in extra necessarily. The culture that was here when I got here, that Coach Hafner is established over the past 13 or 14 years, has been something that's just kind of continued on for itself. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. As far as scheme and offense wise, we've put in a couple of more wrinkles, a couple of different wrinkles that maybe they didn't use in the past that hopefully have helped us so far in places. But Coach Hafner and I's offense philosophy fall right in line with one another. As he also works on the offensive side of the ball, coaching quarterback, the most important position. And so no, I wouldn't say that they've necessarily taken to me because of my experience. Hopefully they trust in what I'm teaching and,
Sure.
and what I'm telling. And Coach Bull has done a great job too. He works with the centers and guards, and everything we do, we try to go by the philosophy of 5 like 1. We have all 5 of our offensive linemen working as one unit. Obviously, that's what we have to have in order to keep things from breaking down and from turning defensive guys loose in places.
Right.
And so I guess the answer is no. I don't think they've especially taken to me, even though I think that we have a great relationship with all the players and really enjoy them. But I think the culture that was already here was the biggest part of it.
Definitely.
And that's continued to flourish.
Yeah, sure. Moving ahead now, talking about, actually we'll still be rewinding, but moving on to another subject. Talking about last week, finally got the monkey off the back. I mean, it was obviously a very tough start to the season when you play 3 very difficult ranked teams of Missouri Valley, Mid-Am, and Baker, and then you get a Central Methodist team that, taking nothing away from the Eagles, talented team in their own respect, but obviously not at the same level. Finally get that win. Obviously a big sigh of relief, I'm sure, for you guys. Absolutely. But kind of recap that game and what you guys felt like you did especially well.
I thought our guys played extremely hard, and I think that our toughness and our conditioning really made the difference towards the end of the game, and we were able to move the football a little more consistently. Obviously, we hit some key passes during the game, and any kind of time a triple option team could take advantage of a touchdown pass or a 65-yard gain on a pass.
Yeah.
That's really going to help us out.
Just open it up, yeah.
Absolutely. And let's see. That was the major thing. Game plan-wise, our scheme was sound, and we did what we wanted to do for the most part. And just our kids just played their butts off. And at the end of the day, with the heat factor and all those sorts of things, they just rose to the occasion and they got it done.
Yeah.
Fought through a good bit of adversity early in the game. We had some penalty calls, some legit and some, we look back at and, weren't quite sure about. But the way our guys came out in the second half after that adversity in the first half and were able to continue to fight and move forward and solidify that win. Yeah. And we had a couple of guys that, like I said, made plays that haven't had a lot of opportunities so far this year. Like Desmond Douglas and Van Parker. Made some really big plays for us in the passing game. And we're going to try to do the same thing again this week. Go out and be efficient and moving the football and get first downs. And, hopefully we get a chance to take a shot and take advantage of it.
Definitely. You already switched gears there for me, so I'll just roll with you. Evangel on Saturday. You weren't here last year, but that was obviously, and I'm sure it's been talked about many times this week, but it was a disappointing loss, one that didn't feel like that probably would have happened 9 out of 10 times, probably take care of business and get that win. But one that I'm sure now looking at for this week is definitely a revenge game. Get them back here, hopefully continue building forward, get another victory. But what have you guys seen out of the Crusaders that you feel like is going to be tough to work against, or maybe something that you can exploit?
Well, they're definitely going to be tough. There's no question about that. They've got a really good defense. I haven't paid attention to their offense as much since we've been preparing to move football. Yeah. They're really good. They're big up front, especially they have a defensive tackle that's 6'7", 350, and a guy that we're really going to have to play with great technique and great effort, in order to match up with that guy. They have another defensive lineman that's not as big but is more athletic and runs around. Their linebackers run around well. They're a physical team, and we've got our work cut out for us again this week.
Yeah, definitely. With regards to just I guess getting healthier, hopefully getting healthier. I mean, I know you guys are nicked up right now, but you said you're a little thin, and I guess it's just a situation of next man up, and I'm sure guys are going to get an opportunity this week that haven't had opportunities in the past, and hopefully they can perform well. But I guess what have you guys been talking about in that respect, or has it just been what, you're there, so are you ready? You better be ready.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a couple of people that potentially play a lot more or play a lot that have not really played for us at all, and it's been my experience, Wade, that anytime a guy has to step up,
Mm-hmm.
they always do a lot better than you expect them
Right.
to. And I mean that just goes with getting out in there in front of the crowd and getting in the huddle, and sometimes they'll have a little butterfly here or there early on, and
sure.
and then we recruit them here to play football because we like the way they played football previously to being here. So once those nerves calm down, if that's even a factor, we expect them all to go out there and play well. Just make sure that they know their assignments and are able to execute fast and effectively.
Definitely. All right, Coach. Any other keys to success on Saturday? I know you said you didn't talk about their offense in particular. They seem to be fairly well-rounded. I don't think anything probably that's going to surprise us. But I guess keys to success again.
Yeah, well, I've heard our defensive staff talk about a few key players on their offense that they're going to have to keep an eye on and try to really limit the damage they're able to do to us. And so far, our defense has done a really good job of that too.
Yeah,
they've actually played a lot of young guys this year as well. I looked out there one time Saturday, and we had a couple of freshmen playing safety in the secondary, and they're out there making plays. They're striking people, and they're doing a really good job. So I just kind of goes back to what I just said about when guys need to step up. More times than not, you get a lot more out of them than maybe you thought they were capable of. And I have no doubt that the defense continue to play well, and we need for them to, because we're trying to win the football game. So we want to play the best we can and just trust in what they do. And Coach Norberg has so far done a great job. Yeah.
Well, they've stepped up, and especially talking about how inexperienced the offensive side is. The defense had a few more of those seasoned veterans out there that could carry the load here early on. But now that you guys are going into the week 5, it's about time that the offense starts figuring it out, and you guys have. Every week it seems like added, like you said, another wrinkle and figured out a little bit more about yourselves, and hopefully have a really good another good outing against Evangel, pick up another victory, and just keep the ball rolling forward. So, anything else, Coach?
No, I think that's about it. I'm really looking forward to the game this Saturday. Extremely happy to have the opportunity to be here at William Penn, and so far I've enjoyed every minute of it, except for those losses, especially the really close ones that we feel like we had a chance to win. So from here on out, if we continue to progress and we continue to not turn the football over, we've got a chance to be really, really good.
Definitely. All right. Well, check out Coach Hopkins, the rest of the Statesmen, Saturday, Lacey Complex Stadium, noon start. Definitely come out and put on your navy and gold, cheer on the boys to another victory. Looking for a win number 2 on the season and keep the ball rolling. So
absolutely.
Thanks, Coach.
Go Statesmen.